You ready?
Yeah. I wish I could have all this set up already.
Let's shake hands.
Let's shake hands?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Good luck. It'll be fun.
Good luck, guys. We'll give him the bill now on the way out. Let me
Nice.
adjust my mic.
Let's do it.
What's up, guys? It's Rip Productions once again. Welcome to Make It Make Sense podcast. Today we have Vlad on the show, Netflix director here. You want to introduce yourself a little bit, Vlad?
First of all, thank you for having me, Rick. It's amazing setup you have here. Yeah, I'm Vlad Klemchuk. I'm Ukrainian film director who moved to Los Angeles a couple years ago. I was a Fulbright student in the US before, but then when full-scale war started, Russian invasion into Ukraine, I moved here and now I like making movies and stuff here.
That's actually really interesting. I wanted to ask you, what brings you not just to Los Angeles, but even here at Rick Production Studios? Tell me a little bit about that. Why Los Angeles, and how did you find me?
So it's like two separate questions. I'll start with the first one.
It's just crazy that you're here,
Yeah. I'll start with the first one. So I was self-taught filmmaker for like about 6 years. And then I did a feature film, I did TV series, some short films. And I was like, okay, I don't have any education in filmmaking. So like everything I know was my experience based or like master classes that I took based or workshops, like self-education, man. Everything is on the internet right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to go and learn something into film school. Where should I go? Like obviously to Hollywood. So I applied for a Fulbright grant, which actually is an amazing program that I recommend everyone who's international student or want to become one. You just apply for that. It's like it takes a year to go through all the process stuff.
Yeah.
But basically, they choose like 20 people from each country each year and give them an opportunity to study in the U.S. So that's what brought me here, like my will. And I wanted to learn more about film.
When did you know you wanted to become a filmmaker?
I still don't know if I want to do that.
You still don't? Are you still? Are you
I'm
just
joking.
living every day, or?
I mean, I'm joking. Like since I was a kid, I was
Okay.
like liking to tell stories, and like once I got into movie theater first time, I was like so hooked. And then I got in the set, and I was like, no way, this is a real job. Like what?
Yeah.
And then like my experience 10 years later, after I had all this experience in Ukraine, I got here into film school, and then your homework assignment is to watch movie at home, and you're like, what? That's a homework? That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah.
That's actually pretty funny. Fun fact about me: a lot of people ask me if I did any schooling for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Did you make any schooling? For
it
that?
was all self-taught. I did go to California University of Northridge, and I took a film class. And same thing, I sat in that class, and it was more like film theory.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not. I think I'm in the wrong class here.
Yeah.
It was the most boring class ever because I wanted to do more like of the hands-on production, behind the scenes kind of part of it. So it's interesting that you say that sometimes school like is not the way to go. It's like you have to do some kind of like trade school, right? Like specific, like what you want to do in the area.
I would say, yeah, that's also, it depends on where at your path you are in the moment. Because like once you have this intention that you want to go to film school, like you have different perspective. For me, for sure, film studies class was probably the most boring, but also it opened different perspective on filmmaking for me because I would never watch those movies except for the class. And now I really appreciate that. So yeah, sometimes it's boring, but you have to just take it and like...
Run me through like, because you're right. In order to kind of like get into filmmaking, film production, you have to understand all aspects of it, right?
Yeah.
So if I get into film theory, at least I know like, what the scripting, the writing and whatnot. When was the first time you actually picked up, because your role as a director, was it always directing or were you always behind the camera?
No, so we started, I had a team, I was part of the team. We had this comedy show in Ukraine.
Vlad, if you could just put the microphone a little closer to
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Just
yeah.
so I can make sure.
So basically, I started as the part of the team. We had this comedy show back home in Ukraine, and we also were part-time working for, I would say, Kvartal 95 is the name of production company of Zelensky, who's now the president. So we used to work part-time for them as just like production assistants and stuff like that, but simultaneously doing our comedy stuff and like improv, like sketches and stuff like that. So I started as the writer and also on-stage performer as a comedian, and then switched slightly to directing.
So you do a little bit of like stand-up comedy yourself, you would say?
Yeah, I did.
That's pretty. Because I was gonna ask you like, what made you choose comedy?
I would say comedy chose me, not, or vice versa. Because I just, the thing was all my movies and like stuff, what I'm doing in life, probably here it's a little bit different, but back home, that with everything that happened during the history of Ukraine, there was a lot of tough stuff. And so actually, I never wanted to make or film or write any dramas because there was enough drama in my life going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to make people feel something, feel joy once they leave the movie theater or once they click pause or stop on YouTube, whatever, anywhere. They would feel joy, they would appreciate the stuff that you did because they would actually forget about real life and dive into fiction that brings them happiness. That's why I chose comedy, or like comedy chose me.
That's a really interesting aspect. Like you said, like it's just too much drama going on. Let's have some fun, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
And also imagine like if you're writing, for example, like drama movie where kids die, where like wars are gonna, like bunch of different stuff, which actually can be based on true stories or not, can be fictional. But imagine writing that for a year or like 2 years. You would have to live with those characters, with everything that happens, with all those events. Then you would have to go and like film it for 3 months or like a couple months. Then you have to edit that. So basically it takes like 2 or 3 years of your life living in that drama and also fighting your drama in your real life. I really appreciate those directors who do that because that's a real commitment and stuff.
I didn't think about that. Like the fact that directors will go out of their way to like actually live it, so they can make sure that they're representing who they're representing, the character, the best way, right?
Yeah.
The most correct way. Do you feel like being from Ukraine? Do you feel like you were able to bring a lot of like knowledge and stuff like that to the industry here?
I would say yes. Because if you know, Ukraine is huge production base for like a lot of productions that come all over the world. For example, I actually have a gift for you. It's over there, if you can hand it to me.
What? This is the first time.
Thank you. This cap is, see what does it say? It says what is it?
Yeah.
Ukraine, right?
Ukraine.
Here you go. It's Ukrainian
wow.
company. If you know Filmmaking, it's a Ukrainian company that also US based. They have 2 Academy Awards for cranes they did. And in the industry, it was like a huge misunderstanding for years. They used to call this crane Russian arm. If you heard, you heard about
really?
it?
Like the Russian arm, they said?
Yeah, the Russian arm, but like actually the company never named it like that.
Yeah.
So now they officially said that the official name is Ukraine.
Ukraine.
That's their merch, and I just wanted
like
to.
That.
Yeah, that's for you.
I'm gonna take a screenshot on that one.
So the answer to your question is Ukrainians bring value to production here because imagine we have a bunch of years of experience with a bunch of different techniques and different genres and different productions. But also, when we come here, we face these obstacles like cultural differences, language barrier, network is a huge issue here because like you have to know people, but when you just come, like you have to figure it out. That's actually what brought me here because I saw your podcast on YouTube and I was like, this production value, the quality that you're doing is insane. That's amazing. So I was like, I want to be a part of it, and also I want to come here and say thank you for what you're doing, because I know that you're facing also a lot of issues on your way as filmmaker.
Oh, most definitely. I feel like every time I have a podcast, it's like getting out of bed until the podcast starts.
Yeah, right.
So all day until 6 p.m. I was just like running errands, trying to like make it happen. But I really appreciate it. But I also do it to, have people like yourself here, and it's very interesting. A lot of people didn't believe me. Like a lot of my crew members, I'm just like, hey, I'm going to be interviewing a Netflix director from Ukraine.
Yeah, my movies are on regional Netflix, on Netflix Ukraine. So it has regional streaming rights. But also we're now waiting for like all other rights. So yeah.
Okay, but some of the movies you have are available here, right?
In the US, on Netflix, no, but some of them you can find on YouTube. Yeah, with English subtitles.
So I actually watched one of your movies.
Which one?
It was the Getting Married.
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie?
The Crazy Wedding.
Crazy Wedding. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm a wedding videographer as well.
Yeah.
So I had to do it, man. I purchased your movie. I watched it. And I'm going to be honest, like when I got the message, it's like, hey, man, I'm going to have to cancel. I was just like, damn, like he got me. I was like, he got my money for sure. Goes around like, hey, like, can I be on your podcast? And they, sure, let me like find out about this guy.
Yeah, I stole his
movie.
$4.
Yeah, I'm like, this guy is really
How
good.
much was it?
No, I don't remember honestly. It was a low amount. It was but I thought it was just funny though. I was just like, but the movie right away, like diving in, like I felt like I was watching the movie from a person that directed it. That was like you can tell that was not here, like American based.
Yeah.
Like the comedy behind it, the direction, the movie, like it felt new, and I loved it. Like I was watching it, and I felt like it's very interesting because it highlights.
Did you get any jokes? Because a lot of jokes are local there. There are a lot of cameos from famous Ukrainian people, celebrities, which like you can't get when you're not in cultural context. Did you get any jokes?
No, so it's probably gonna be one of those things where I have to like watch again and really pay close attention. But like that's interesting. The jokes were funny, and I felt like I could relate to it because literally, like I think we all go through that, right? Yeah. Where like you're getting married with somebody from a different culture, and it's just like it's really hard for them to accept you. It's like, it felt like it was very human, very relatable,
Thank you. Yeah. And also like the cultural differences between Ukraine and the US is in that Soviet Union and Ukraine firstly was part of Soviet Union, which we never chose. But the culture was closed inside, right? So there were like all foreigners were considered spies and stuff like that. So like there wasn't cultural context. Like, I mean, the worldwide, like we never had so many different nationalities inside of the country. So it has like a little twist in our culture too. So like if you watch it from here, you probably won't get the whole thing. Yeah. But it's definitely something on the basic level. It's father, daughter, and the guy who wants to take his daughter, which is like worldwide understandable thing, right?
Yeah. Watching it was great. I was looking for the English like dub over.
Yeah, but it's subtitles.
So I had to like read it. I'm just like, oh, like, but it was a really good movie, and I want to keep watching the rest of your films.
I want to invite you. Basically, what happens in September, in mid-September, we have screening in Lumiere Theater on in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
We'll have my latest movie, the screening of The Best Weekend. And that's one that you will definitely understand because we made it with help of USAID. It's like an American nonprofit organization that helps different cultural things to happen. Yeah. So basically, we had American script doctor, and we made this movie, and like you will definitely relate to that. It's like about love on the music festival, something like XOXO on Netflix. Have you seen it?
I would love to attend. You said mid-September. That's around my birthday too.
Nice. What day is your birthday?
September 17th.
Nice. It will be September 14th. So yeah,
perfect.
yeah, pre-party for your birthday.
Free birthday party. I'll be honored to go watch your film. Question, like I'm still appalled that I have a Netflix director here. I have a lot of friends that do, videography and filmmaking and video production in general, and I believe like to become a Netflix director is a very high achieving goal. What was it when you became when you became an official like Netflix director? Do you feel like did you feel accomplished for a while, and then or did you feel like, what's next? Like what's the next move for Vlad? Like,
No, I wouldn't say so.
No?
So how would I describe that is, imagine you're doing something what you love, and then you're done and it's in movie theaters, and then you feel bad that it's gone, right? So like for a moment you have this moment of appreciation what happened, but was the thought that, whoa, that was such a nice journey, and now today I don't have to wake up at 3 a.m. Like, what?
Yeah.
So basically you feel a little bit lost for a couple weeks or months.
Really? Like
Yeah.
like my purpose is done here.
It's kind of done, because like you live with that project for like year, 2 years, and then, oh, okay, it's done. What should I do next? For sure, you have project assigned, but you still have to like let it go. So basically, when that movie that you were referencing to was the highest grossing Ukrainian movie ever, after and like. At
the time, yeah.
Yeah, at the time, at the year, and actually, now it holds the second place after the Zelensky movie that he released just like a couple months before he ran for president elections. But the thing is that I didn't feel anything. I was studying, I was working on my next thing, and basically you just keep going. You're like, oh, that's cool. I posted that on Instagram. I'll call all my crew members and congratulate them. I'll call my producers and say thank you for such an amazing work, and let's go. What's next?
In a world with like very different media streaming platforms and Netflix, and I want to ask, is there a difference filming for Netflix versus filming for like TV, television, or other platforms?
So when we were filming this movie, it wasn't Netflix original. So basically, Netflix bought the rights for our movie.
Okay.
So when we were filming it for sure for movie theaters, and the goal was to make the biggest box office in Ukraine ever before. So we were making that with, in our head, there was like pretty much a formula how to like achieve that. Basically, you're making this movie for the wide audience, so like you have to use proper music, which will like be like which everyone could relate to. You have to have specific jokes, specific actors or celebrities in it, and also story-wise, it has to evoke emotions from kind of all of people who will watch this, right?
Yeah.
So basically, my approach to this story was visually wise. I was trying to make it simple but classy, so no like extremely long shots to make audience bored, and stuff like that, and simultaneously to bring some different perspective on what's gonna, like the question was like what the difference between TV and theater, right? On TV you can make like those extreme close-ups, right, where it's a small screen. For a big screen, it's just like the different approach to cinematography. For sure, you can make wider shots and like let people look around and like figure out the stuff. You can do different blocking, because like the viewer will catch like the eye tracing, will be like, okay, I can look in this part of the screen, that part of the screen, which is not possible with a TV, because like the screen is so small, like you won't enjoy that in that way. And also the third thing is that usually for TV is a little bit shorter format, right? The duration of the like series, for example, it's like 1 hour, and then on in the movie theaters it's like 90 minutes. So basically you have to grab your viewer and like walk them through the story for 1.5 hours and let them go in the very end, which is a little bit different with cliffhangers in the end of the TV series, right? So like the approach to the story and to visuals are way different,
Okay, I've never thought. So you're saying that some movies are really just meant to be watched in the movie theaters?
Absolutely, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
interesting.
like definitely. Like there is this famous meme when someone is watching Dunkirk on their Apple Watch, right? That's not what's supposed to happen.
Like no, you're not supposed to watch it that way. That's it. Oh, that's interesting. I did post a couple questions for you, and people want to know. I guess you kind of answered it, but what's it like working with so many like different characters on you as a director? Do you ever feel like swayed into changing some things because of the team that you're working with, or
What do you mean?
like let's say you go onto set, you kind of have some kind of knowledge on how you want it done.
Yeah.
Is there any like pushback with that, or as a director, does everybody just really have to just respect the direction?
That's actually an amazing question
Yeah.
because I know that different directors have different vision on that topic.
Yeah.
I would answer what I feel. I feel in movie magic. And movie magic is when you have your own ideas as director and your own vision that you want to share with your crew, with your talent, and then share the story with the viewer, right? But once I'm on set or during the table readings or during the casting, if actors, talents, or crew members offer me their vision, I will definitely accept it and give them this creative space to create. And that's when movie magic happens, when they advise you or give you their vision, you're like, fuck, that's even better than I thought. I would never thought in that way, but when they bring it, you're like, whoa, that's so cool. I love that. Let's stick to that and like let's move with that. So I'm for sure the guy who likes creative collaboration with this one, but for sure as director, I come fully prepared knowing what I want. I definitely know what I want. If no one, like it never happened, but if no one gives me any solutions or like anything, any creative visions, I would do my thing for sure, 100%. If there is collaboration involved, I'll dive into that for sure.
Do you believe that what makes a director is a person who knows what he wants, makes immediate decisions?
Yeah, for sure.
You ever been around a director that's just kind of like lost on set in a sense? Like they're talented, but they're kind of like, give me a second to think, or like,
that's actually okay. Like you can take your second to think.
You hear that, guys?
That's okay. Like for sure, you can't be the guy or the girl who always takes their second. It's like instead of 12-hour shift, it creates like 24-hour shift. But for sure, it's great if you will take your second and think about it. For sure. Yeah.
Most definitely, right? I bring that up just to joke as well because it's a serious question, but on the field with a lot of my team, they come to me like, what's next, Rick? Or what do you need me to do and whatnot? And I'm just like, I get kind of like lost. And they always talk about it. And it's just like, hey, at the end of the day, it gets done. Like, I'm sure there's different personalities on set, like different leads and whatnot. But
the thing is that for sure, you don't want to be the person on set when crew feels that you're unconfident in what you're doing or you don't know what you want. You definitely have to have your vision. That's why you're there. That's your job. That's like the thing. That's what you get money for. Like that you can answer the question immediately.
You have to perform right away.
But if the question is really good, take a second and think about it, because like probably the solution will be actually not the answer to that question, but something like third part. Oh, I'm sorry. It will be like some third part of that. But take your second for sure.
Okay, that's some good insight. Quick tips with Vlad. Vlad, right now that I have you in the studio, is there any questions you want to ask me? I
wanted, like, once you invited me and like sent me the location, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Interesting part of city to come. And what I want to say, I know a lot of people from here. We're in Compton, a lot of artists who perform with their sons or like different type of arts. But why this place?
It's amazing that I live in Inglewood, California. I grew up in Inglewood, California, and I've been to different places, you know, different cities and stuff like that. And somehow my creative podcast studio ends up in the city of Compton, you know, ends up back here. And like, I kind of have movie posters up there. I did want to put movies up there, like straight out of Compton and stuff like that, but I didn't want too much
cheesy. Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it'd be way a little too cheesy, but like, I guess I have comfort knowing that people have to be a little uncomfortable and like come here, because at the end of the day, like this is where a lot of big time artists, this is where they came from.
Sure. Yes.
And it's very interesting. Like, I never thought about it like this because I do rental properties here in Compton.
Oh yeah. So basically you told me there's Airbnb, right?
Yeah. So right next door we have an Airbnb place that we rent out, and it does really well. And a lot of
and my question is,
it's a good question.
I'm sorry for this question, but I mean, there's the stereotype that there is a lot of
Most
crime
definitely.
going on here, and I mean, we came here. It's amazing here. I love people here, but like for tourists, probably they're like.
I love that you said that. So the idea came really from my father. People called him like the director or the CEO, and I'm like the executioner, the person that just like, you know, gets it done and whatnot. He has all the ideas. It's a good team, right? I kind of, so not only do we have an Airbnb in Compton, but we're probably one of the most expensive Airbnbs in the area.
Nice.
And
how
yet,
much is it?
And it does. The numbers differentiate. We could talk about it after. They always differentiate, but I can say that we are the most expensive Airbnb in the area. I'll send you the link.
And link will be in description to this video.
And it come to a point where like I really feel like I could sell like a short book, like top 10 tips of how to become an Airbnb host. And I've talked about it with a couple of friends, and they use my tips, and you know, they have successful in running Airbnbs. So I have a little bit of like knowledge in the business and marketing world, right? Hence probably why we're here. But my father had this strange idea that people want to come to Compton because they want to feel what it's like. They want the experience. He believes that it's a landmark, again, where like artists came from. Now, I didn't believe that. Like, why, right? I didn't believe that until we started doing Airbnb, and it started doing really well, starting booking back to back. People love it. We have like over like a couple hundred reviews on the place, almost all 5 stars. And we will get like those little like, what's the word I'm saying? I'm trying to use like math language here, but we'll get the stray comments here and there. Like, oh my God, this city, don't book your place here. It's unsafe and whatnot. And
you have those comments?
Yeah. So I do have those comments where people will be like, it's very unsafe, the area. And it's just like, I'll talk to them and I'll just be like, well, what makes it unsafe? Did something happen? You know, no, it just looks very unsafe. And in that point, you know, I get a little smart with my words. You know, I did go to college, and I'm just like, okay,
like,
so
fuck you.
Oh, that's what I want to say. But it's just like, I have to be smart about it. You know, it's just like, I'll talk to them. I'll be like, hey, you know, so what are the reasonings? What did you see? Did anything happen? No, I just see that it's unsafe. I said, you know what? I don't think that's fair. I think you are, you know, you're stereotyping the area. Like, you haven't had a personal experience, and you are already saying like, I don't like this area. You know, is there anything I can do to help accommodate you, you know? And we do get those people every now and then. Fast forward, my place of work involves working with different cultures at work, right? I'll talk about that later too as well. I work for the government, Homeland Security. That's what I do on the side.
Nice.
And my job involves, you know, checking passports and all kinds of people from different kind of cultures. And what shocked me is I was seeing Asians come through the checkpoints with hats that say Compton on it. And I thought about my father, and I'm just like, he's right. People come from all over the world, and they come to Compton because they want the experience. They see all the movies, you know? they see the movies from America, and they love it.
They see
they
the
fall
movies,
in love with.
they listen to the music,
They-
they
yeah.
follow the culture,
They-
and then
they-
they say they're kind of afraid to come here. That's like literally insane.
I've been to very, very nice neighborhoods and met some children that have had both father and mother, 2-story houses, who listen to the music and who want to like be a part of the culture, you know? And it's very interesting to me because it's like, well, have you ever like stepped into a liquor store in Compton? You know, like, would you do that? And they'll be like, yeah, most definitely, you know? And I'm just like, okay, I guess, you know? But it's a very interesting thing because Compton is a landmark and people do want to come and see it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Come to Compton.
Just don't stay for too long, though.
Come to Compton, specifically to this place. Link will be in description.
There you go, guys. There you go. You heard it from Vlad, guys.
It's product placement.
We brought everyone onto the show, and you know we had to bring.
I love this place.
We had to bring Vlad. So,
yeah.
Man, Vlad, thank you again for coming here. I did want to bring up, you know, you're from Ukraine. Is there anything that you want to say about the current events? Because I'm going to be very honest with you. When you reached out to me and I was doing my research, I was pretty naive to like not even think that there was a war going on right now, you know? And I think this is a perfect opportunity because now through my cameras, through my platform, you're conveying a message to my followers, which I believe, you know, they're very enclosed. We live in our own heads here, you know. We cover our eyes and we don't want to see what's out in the real world right now. A lot of us sweep stuff under the rug and carry about on our days. So I really want to ask you to please like tell us about what's going on and if there's anything that you would like for us to know.
First of all, thank you for providing this platform and asking that question. For sure, I would first of all, I would say that if you're curious in the history of Ukraine, please go and make some research because Ukraine is much, much more ancient than Russia is. Because like when there was Kiev's Rus, there was no Russia. Like it didn't exist yet. And there are a lot of great inventors. There are a lot of great directors, a lot of great mathematicians, a lot of great people. Like the guy who invented helicopter, Sikorsky, he's Ukrainian. I was studying his university in Kiev. The guy who invented one of the first rockets for Soviet Union, he was also Ukrainian, Korolev, right? The like Grammarly made by Ukrainians, Reface app by Ukrainians. So like there is a huge IT stage, huge film production stage. We're like extremely developed country with like huge amount of technologies. And then if you'll dive into the history, you'll see how during the centuries, Russia or Russian Empire at that moment, or Soviet Union at another point of the history, was repressing Ukraine. It was starvations in Ukraine. So the war that is going on right now, it's actually not, it didn't happen 1.5 years ago. It started centuries ago. The active phase of this war started 8 years ago, was an action of Crimea. And then right now, it's like the obvious part. It's like the full-scale invasion into Ukraine from Russian Federation. And I hope you guys support Ukraine and help spread the word about the war, help a lot of the rescue shelters for animals are in need of help because a lot of shelters were bombed and a lot of people had to flee their homes. So a lot of animals, unfortunately, were left behind and like now they're collected by the government. So please help Ukraine any moment you have like the opportunity to donate to any charity organization or like hit a like on the video that supports Ukraine. Please do that. The small commitments actually help. And the last thing that I would say, that this war that's going on right now, there were a lot of wars in the world, and there are a lot of wars are going on right now at this specific moment. But the war that Russia started against Ukraine is the war against democracy on the whole continent and in the whole world. So if you hear something that like, hey, why do we have to pay taxes? So the US government would send those money to buy weapons for Ukraine. Because if that won't happen, tomorrow half of Europe will be under Russian government, and it will be much more money spent on dealing with that. So right now, Ukraine, and with the help of the US people and the US government, and like the partners from all over the world, is fighting for freedom of the whole world. So basically, if you support Ukraine, you support democracy, you support peace, and thank you. I appreciate your help.
Thank you. I think that alone right there is definitely going to be clipped and shared.
Thank you.
Because honestly, like I said, we could be very naive, and we're always talking about why are we helping other countries, like why, and you just said it perfectly. Because if we don't help this country that believes in what we believe in, it's gonna be a greater force that we're gonna have to deal with at the end of the day. It's just like, that's very interesting.
Also, like, you can't deal with I don't know, you'll probably cut it out because I don't know if you can use word terrorist on YouTube. Probably it will be banned. But you can't negotiate with terrorists, basically. Like, they annexed part of our territory 8 years ago, like Donbass area and Crimea. And then we're trying to negotiate for 8 years, and now they want like another negotiations. Like, that's not what you do. Like, if I'll reference to the U.S. history and what happened here, like, for example, 2011, right? It was like a huge tragedy for the whole nation. And if you'll look at what happens in Ukraine right now, it's like multiple times worse. And that's actually a terrorism, what's going on right now in Ukraine.
I like that. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
We don't.
At work, I'm an anti-terrorist, unit. So it's just like, I'm trained to like find bombs and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. So I think that'd be very biased if they like canceled us for using the word terrorism, Yeah. But like I said, I've had my fair share of like the way media portrays things and the agenda that they want to push.
Yeah.
And sometimes to their benefit, they don't want the people to know certain things, like TikToks and stuff like that. They're very regulated, right?
Absolutely. Like, it's all politics, but we're at this point in our lives when, like, you can say, hey, filmmaking is out of politics, or like music is out of politics. Right now, we're at this point of humanity where human history where nothing is out of politics, because everything you see on your phone, everything that influences you as a human being, it has its own part of politics in it.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the questions were, does Netflix ever like regulate things where they're like, okay, this can't be in Netflix, like?
I mean, everything is regulated, but it's not Netflix rules. It's more like streaming rules. You can't stream like violent content that is for underage people, like, like R-rated movies and stuff like that. So basically, it has its own rules, but it's all based on international rules of streaming platforms.
What do you think? I'm gonna go on. What do you think about the movies that are dominating our market today, like Barbie?
What kind of, you mean Marvel movies?
No, I'm talking about like the Barbie movie right now.
Like today, like Barbie and Oppenheimer?
What do you think about
Sasha actually was on set of Oppenheimer for 5 days. She was doing background acting.
Yeah?
She's actually on screen. We watched Oppenheimer. She's like slightly over there.
We're gonna watch that. What do you think about those two movies?
I haven't seen Barbie yet. We're going tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can say about Oppenheimer, I love the way Nolan, in all his movies, how he plays with the storylines and intersections and timelines. This movie is definitely a masterpiece. Who am I to judge the movie of Christopher Nolan? It's just like, for me, it's not his best movie. It's definitely very on time because of the topic it brings. And great performance, great cinematography, great 75 mil black and white film. Everything is amazing. It's a masterpiece. Is it my favorite Chris Nolan movie? No.
No. No. Which is your favorite Christopher Nolan?
I would say Interstellar, Inception, and Dark Knight would be my top three.
Dark Knight, most definitely. I think we have it right up there. Right?
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan. Well, we're reaching towards the end of the podcast again. I'm really happy that you're here today. You said some amazing things that people need to sit home and think about, really. Is there anything else you have for me or would like to say on the podcast show today?
I would answer you a question.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. You're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And you're making this amazing podcast. You have this studio. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know that's so generic question, but I mean, you're doing this all, right?
Yeah.
For what? What's your goal? What do you want to get from this?
That's a really good question. I do get that question a lot where, hey, Rick, like, what's your next move?
No, not next move.
Not next
That's
move.
the thing. This is your kind of ladder to yourself in 5 years. You'll watch and you'll be sitting somewhere. We don't know where yet. You'll be, whoa, I wanted that. I had that in 2 years.
So let's see. That's a good question. Ooh. I see myself, I don't know, in 5 years, I see myself having like an actual like production team, you know?
Was narrative stuff?
Yeah, like I want Rick Productions. And I might even have to change the name, which hurts because a lot of people are saying, well, it's Rick Productions, like, you know, it's just too personal. And I want to like expand. You know, I want like this huge umbrella where I become like rental properties, or like I'm getting into wedding films, and then I'm also getting into like music videos, and like I'm a little bit of everywhere. So I feel like in 5 years, I just kind of like, I just want to be able to build a production company that has a little bit of everything, you know? That's the way I see it. I definitely have some moves in the work. I don't know why I have such a hard time explaining like where I see myself or what my goals are.
Sometimes it's not so clear even for yourself.
I just know I wake up in the morning and I do it. Like I want the technology, I want the gear, I want the investments. We're here today. And my father actually asked me coming over here, he's just like, what we're doing today is like really interesting. You have a Netflix director from Ukraine here. And I'm just like, you know what? At the end of the day, like I feel like, I think this is just like life. That's just the way that life works, you know? Like it feels nice to build something where I can meet people, you know, with different mindsets, make connections. Like now I'm probably going to a movie in Beverly Hills. Who would have? Can I take a +1?
Yeah,
I'm gonna take them. So when we're driving to Beverly Hills movie premiere, I'm gonna be like, so ask me that question again on while we're doing this. Who like? I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of people think about doing things like this and they don't do it. You know, they just think about it.
I love your answer because I share that same philosophy. Because sometimes people are more focused on what they will get in the end for themselves. It's like watching a movie because of the final credits. For sure, it's great to watch final credits and appreciate everyone who've done it, like, and enjoy the ending. But it's about the whole experience of the movie, right? Of the journey you're living in, of your story.
Yeah, most definitely. Now I can say, like, I'm serious. Like, now I can say I met a Netflix director from Ukraine. You know, like that's freaking dope to me. I don't think not a lot of people can say that.
That's dope for me that I'm in this awesome production.
You never
studio.
thought you'd be in Compton in an awesome production.
Actually, I love to come to Compton. Like I've been here multiple times. Friend of mine, he does music videos for all the like awesome musicians here in Compton.
Yeah.
And also, what I wanted to say that. When I started, I was doing music videos and this TV series for the guy who was a hip hop artist.
Okay.
And our goal was to boost him, and he's now fighting in the Ukrainian army and he's defending Ukraine right now. So his goal and like our mutual goal was to make this music videos connected. So we did intros and outros, fictional, like as like cinematic.
This guy's a hip hop artist?
Yeah,
he's out there like fighting the war right now.
Yeah,
and he wants to come back and create some stuff.
No, he did create some stuff. We started together.
I gotta see that. You gotta send me the link.
Yeah, I will do. I will send you. So like basically, we did music videos for him, and then it grew into TV series about him, and then it grew into our first feature film together. So. What we did in the very beginning, it was like all his music videos were kind of connected through the same story. They were different genres and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they always had this intros and outros for like 2 minutes each.
Yeah.
So it would have like this narrative story. So in
Somehow
the end, after you have like 5 music videos, you have like half an hour series, right? Like an episode of the series. So basically, I would love to do that here for artists in Compton. So basically, if you're an amazing artist and you have a story and some positioning that you think and like you really want to share, reach me out. I would love to do that. I want to make this music videos that would be connected to each other into one storyline. Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. If you need an extra hand on set, let me know. I have the location here if you wanted to do it. It's funny because it's an Airbnb, but I've also rented it for people to like shoot like music videos. But these are like, these are just like filmmakers here and there and like nothing too crazy. But it would be amazing to like, I guess that's why I'm here, to make things happen, I've always been very involved in my community. Back at home in Inglewood, I was a cadet, so I did my fair share of like community work, and I'm all about the community. And even here in Compton, just this street alone is just like we clean up the alleyway. We ordered a new stop sign because it wasn't so visible. Like, it's just like, I kind of want to be like what a plague is, but like in a good way. What would that be?
May I tell the story? Once we were like driving here, I texted Rick, where can we park? And he was like, you can park next to my car, my Jeep. And I was like, there is no stop at any time sign. He was like, oh, really? I haven't seen that. So probably you want like to order a new sign, no stop at any time.
Who put that there? I'm going to write a letter to the mayor and be like, hey, you know what? I don't like that sign anymore, bro. Yeah. But you know what? Really, like a lot of people just don't get that, like, you can be what you want to be. Like, I know it's so cliche, but like, and I like to think I'm a fair like example of that. Like, you can be or you can do what you want to do as long as you just do it. But like, it's not just putting your mind. A bunch of friends could get together and talk and we should film this and wouldn't it be funny if we made a movie about us or
It's never funny when you hear that thing. You're like, no, it's not. It won't.
Right. So it's just like, I guess that's why we're here, and I look forward, to maybe even working with you soon again or having you back on the podcast. I look forward to having you back here, even if you wanted to bring a guest of your own. This is what the studio's for.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So the studio's available for anybody that wants to book. And I'm very happy that you're here, Vlad. Can't wait to see the movie.
Thank you. Appreciate for having me, and you're welcome. Let's hang out and make this pre-party of your birthday at our movie premiere.
Let's do it, guys. Everybody's invited. Thank you guys again for being here, guys. Make It Make Sense podcast here with Vlad. Such an awesome guy. Such an awesome gift, guys. And thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.